And whatever you do, don't let it fall into the wrong hands.
You guys had just finished cleansing the ancestral forge of Fire Newt Invasion at Akarl's behest, and watch him transform from a fairly mild-mannered dwarf into a sort of grandiose leader. He made you a bunch of cool adamantine stuff, including the short sword that Professor Fleeb just gave away to save your skins to the dragon. And I found an icon that represents the mining cart that you took. So now there's an actual mining cart token.
Yay!
You were just in the process of leaving the dragon's chamber as Scramble tried to steal something and got slashed for 29 damage or something like that.
I got bibbed pretty hard.
Yeah. So that is where we rejoin the action. And what?
So, I think we assumed at the end that we were taking a rest in the tunnel on the way back. Is that done?
So you guys are back in the tunnel on the way to the other forge, is that correct?
Yeah.
Back to my car, yeah.
Okay, cool. If that is the case, let me just move your character icons. So you guys are back in the tunnel, and you're heading back, and you're probably taking a rest halfway through. Is anyone taking watch during this rest?
Did anyone not get burned up?
I suppose me.
I didn't get burned, but I did get snapped.
For the love of peace.
I'm in the car, and I'm just like, hey, Fleeb, I'm gonna take a nap, dude.
Okay.
Can you keep pushing this
could
thing?
Could everyone gather together, please? Just gotta group up.
Are we? Like we're all just in the cart.
Right. Okay. You're all in there. I hope you come.
Oh wait, I can actually do something. Hold on.
Yeah.
I forgot that. Oh, it only lasts an hour.
Not before Fleeb does something. Even if it's just push us. Oh, he's gonna make another tiny hat.
Well, nice. I hope we're gonna do that not here, literally by the cart.
No, we're gonna be in the tunnel, presumably.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys are in the tunnel.
Nice.
Cool.
Tiny hut time.
Inside the tiny hut, you probably don't take any watches, I assume?
Sure, let's go with no.
Okay, cool. You wake up in the morning with no knowledge of what, if anything, has transpired during the evening.
Nothing, don't worry about it.
Would you like to continue down the tunnel?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll say because you've gone through it
before. Make breakfast.
Nice.
But there's no more chicken wings.
The worst tunnel. A chicken wingless one.
Oh no. Okay, sweet. So you return to Hrakhamar, and you hear distantly echoing through the corridors rhythmic hammering followed by a little humming, da-dum, 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 boom, boom, ba-dum, ba-dum. And Akarl just seems to be humming to himself as he's just doing his thing.
Oh, okay. I run up to him. I'm like, Akarl, my dude!
Oh, you find him in the sort of central-ish chamber that you were in before.
Oh, yeah. With the hammer. So.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Cool. Akarl says, "Oh, back so soon? What happened to you guys?"
Dude, I got bad news.
You have an infestation.
Oh, really? Here, we cleaned everyone out.
Well, your mine is infested anyway.
So we followed a tunnel about, I don't know, how far was that? 10 miles?
Something along those lines.
We went 10 miles down that tunnel. We were hearing something real spooky, And,
okay.
Dude, you might want to sit down for this.
Okay. He leans against the sort of anvil, bracing himself.
Dude, when we got there were so many dwarf bones.
Oh.
Yeah, mosquito bones everywhere.
And we snuck on ahead. And there was a freaking red dragon, dude.
Oh.
And this idiot, his point at Scramble, this idiot woke it up, and she almost burned my flesh off before Doc over here managed to calm her down by giving her a sword or something.
She snapped through my cape.
Jeez. Oh, wait. So this isn't in the forge. This is down that southern tunnel about 10 miles, you said?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, you see him start to, like, panic restlessly, sort of scrambling around the room looking for, like, tools. And he says, okay, well, we've got to board it up. We've got to board it up. I've got some metal here. Can you hand me that hammer? And he just points to a rack of tools. We've got to board that up. I've just got the forge back. I can't have it lost again to some sort of dragon and all those other things you mentioned. Mosquito bones? That sounds awful.
No, they were dwarf
mosquitoes.
bones, dude.
The mosquitoes were dead.
Mosquitoes don't have bones. This guy doesn't know what a mosquito is.
This guy doesn't know what a mosquito is either.
When I asked him what a mosquito is, he said Scrammle's a doofus.
No, well, I
That's
asked you what a mosquito. That's what you said.
I also said Scrammle's a doofus. We agreed.
You see a Carl sort of
What's a doofus?
shuffling out of the room, holding like a series of iron bars loosely in his arms, and he seems to be getting to work immediately.
Yep.
Do I
So how-
have even any way to do
Is
it?
this dragon? Will the dragon fit through that tunnel? I mean,
Yeah, you saw the size of that thing.
Knowledge scaling.
It was about 2 by 2 squares, and that sounds just like the tunnel.
that's a good point. The tunnel was 2 by 2 squares, and so was the dragon.
I think the problem is more likely less to come from dragons and more likely from raiding parties from like the
Dragons?
well yes and no the kobolds. They are technically dragons.
Well,
Do we
no, they're
see
not.
Jacob?
Well, they are.
No, they're not.
Are we talking
They
about the
are.
mosquitoes or something else?
They're pretty shit dragons, but they are technically dragons. I think.
You guys can both roll I'll say, Arcana check.
Okay.
Bear might be actually legitimately right about this.
Yeah, but the characters don't know that, so we'll see.
It's pretty.
Oh, it was close.
Okay, let
What
me have
do we
a
know
look.
We have
Okay,
we
so,
have we have quite heated debate about lineages of
technicality.
different types of
Okay.
strands
Yeah,
and
it's
what is
so-
actually the definition of a dragon.
Dude, maybe they come
Basically-
from dragons once, but not. Yeah.
So basically, Professor Fleeb, you recall coming rushing back to you at the last moment that they're lizard humanoids that worship dragons, but perhaps at one point they were an offshoot, but it's not widely known. They're traditionally considered to be sort of humanoids of a lizard persuasion, but unfortunately this comes back to you moments after you'd staunchly defended it. And Jax, you remember kind of what you had always said. You don't learn anything new about it.
I just have stories about all these lizard men who wish they were dragons, and I'm just like, look, what about Screekle Creek? He wanted to be a dragon so bad. He grew wings. What about that song about Cribble Crab?
You see. I was always told about this, and this is one of my problems. In the same way that not all drugs are chemical. Hang on a minute. Let me get this right. Not all dragons. No, hang on. Not all kobolds aren't. Not all lizards are dragons, and not all dragons are lizards.
You hear a hammering distantly reach you from the direction of the tunnel that you had come through, and it seems to echo, and you hear occasional swearing in Dwarvish, like, "Iron's beard and lava overfloweth."
All right, let's go help him out. I'm gonna do a thing. I'm gonna use my Mark of Hospitality Halfling innate power to cast my one unseen servant, and I'm gonna use it to help block up the tunnel.
Cool. You see that Akal has taken a bucket, a very fortified looking bucket of lava, and he seems to be using it as a sort of like glue, like dipping bars of iron in it, like the tips of the iron, and using that to sort of form a lattice of iron bars that seem to be blocking this tunnel. It seems to be a technique that's dangerous, but he seems quite confident with it. About a couple of hours passes, and you've formed something that might stop a series of kobolds, but it's very hodgepodge, and he's sort of like sweating and pacing up and down, going, "Okay, that should hold until that time. Okay, what else do I need to do?" And he's very much like lost in his own thoughts. What do you guys do?
Like, well, hopefully that'll do it. Good thing we found out about it, eh, buddy?
Oh yes, thank you. Yes, good. Sooner the better. Yes, sooner the better. And he's
all right. Well, we might get going now. You know, but
Yes.
we'll be sure to tell anyone we see who might want to come help you with the forge. You know, any dwarves of the clan. We'll let them know you're here, and
Yes, of
maybe
course.
one day we'll come back and check out that dragon again.
Yes, totally. The more help I can get, I'm gonna need to check the rest of this place for tunnels. Point them in my direction by all means.
And I do the handshake with him again
Okay,
that
cool.
I devised with him last time.
He does it, but he's a little distracted. But he still manages to pull it off. So what I'm gonna say
that the
is-
dragon even comes this way. Maybe she's just she. Maybe it's just gonna ignore this place.
Oh yeah, like she ignored you.
Well, it was a close one.
Oh, what's going on here? It's like drawing a map.
Yeah.
If
Oh
you
yeah,
see-
it loads each
Yeah.
tile as like its own object, I think.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
We're currently in the Cobalt Mountains, so real close by.
So we're in the Cobalt. Well,
I don't know.
to be realistically, I probably should have realized if we're in the Cobalt Mountains, I might find Cobalt.
I've lied to you. We're actually. I'll find another funny name. real
Well, when
fast.
I was captured, they definitely put a bag of my hair.
We're
Where
actually
did
in
know,
the
I was going
snout
towards
of
the Cobalt Mountains.
Where did we come into this cave system?
Okay, so you basically come out of Hrak Hamar, and you notice on the map that Wormheart Mine is vaguely where you would have been when you traveled 10 whatever miles under the ground. So you come out in the Valley of Lost Honor, sort of on the sort of mountainside entrance that you used to enter the Hrak Hamar mine in the first place. And everybody needs to make a perception check.
Okie dokie.
Flipping hell. I need to actually do a to-do list because I still need to add 5 to fucking
Woo!
Big 3.
deception, was it?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's
Deception,
initiative I get
YOLO.
stuff on. I guess initiative I get stuff on.
You did add 5 to your initiative, right?
Yeah, that was added, yeah.
Yeah.
But I got confused briefly and was like, oh, no, I add it to perception. No, it's initiative.
Okay, so Scramble and Jex, you notice
What
to the right of the sort of cave tunnel entrance to the Hrakhamar mine, you notice like a wizened kobold woman that seems to be approaching you with like a walking stick, and her other hand outstretched as if to garner something from you. She doesn't seem to pose a threat, and you hear her say, did you come from the Wormheart Mine? I think I saw you down there. It was you that got scorched by the dragon, is that right?
Don't know what you're talking about.
What do you? Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
I'm covering. I'm like trying to brush soot off my arms because we haven't been able to clean up properly. and, like,
I'm
my clothes
bursting
have big
lying.
burn marks.
As you're like stumbling over yourself, I'm just like, what the hell are you talking about?
Well, you
Scrabble's
see,
very comfortable with lying.
she gestures to her sort of rags and says, well, as an outcast myself, I tend to have a sense for these things, and you all did not look like... And she seems to reach for the word in common as you detect a thick accent of presumably kobold. You seemed like fish out of the ocean. And I've been trying to find a way to get back in to my people, but they continue to worship this infernal dragon, and I just can't scrape in front of that thing for 1 minute longer.
So you're not a fan of the dragon?
No, I'm not. But I can't figure you all out. Why are you here? Why are you risking your lives in this jungle trying to negotiate with dragons? I've never observed such tomfoolery in that chamber before.
I'm following him. I point at Jess.
I was like, I mean, the dragon thing was an accident. We were just helping a friend over on this side.
I elbow him really hard. What dragon thing?
But then, I mean, yeah. Well, she knows, dude. And then, so I'm gonna just like sing her a little song of what happened to the dragon and
She
like
does
how...
now.
Okay,
We
so you're
walked
gonna
along the tunnel till our energy was spent, and then he woke the dragon by accident.
And she says, oh, I see. So it was as uncoordinated as it appeared then.
Yeah.
We like to think of ourselves as a sort of a troupe of like improvisers, if you will. You know, we don't need to make plans because things just sort of work out for us. We're just that
do
good.
they?
These guys just came and rescued us.
Yeah,
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
that
very
wasn't
unsure
planned.
about
We,
that.
we fucking nailed that, didn't we?
I guess that's true then. Good point.
We did
Well,
rescue these guys. That was
you-
good.
you seem to, and she has this little, like, her eyes are sort of partly clouded over, but only sometimes you look back and then they're not clouded over anymore, and you think, am I seeing things? And she says, I mean, you seem like, I don't know about decent people, but not evil per se. And I might have some information for you, but I am a little hungry since being ousted from my tribe. Do you have anything that I could nourish myself with?
Hungry? All right, you talk to these guys, and I'm gonna just like start looking around for like a bird to shoot or something, and whip up a lunch.
Okay. She turns to the rest of you and says, well, big dwarf? Yeah, go on.
Can I detect divination?
Is that a spell that you have?
No, it's not. It is just the idea that would I be able to tell if someone was doing divine magic and divination magic?
Oh, okay. In that case, you can roll, I will say, Arcana check.
Shouldn't have thrown away the lost chicken, should you?
Ooh.
You saying to me?
Okay.
Just like when you're like, you can talk to these guys. I'm like, shouldn't have thrown away the lost chicken.
I gave it to Guy.
You get
Basically
the
thrown it away.
sense from your knowledge of the arcane that she is performing some kind of magic, probably divination, but it's of a type and of an origin that isn't familiar to you. Like, she's not...
Yeah, it isn't wizard magic, so it just
Yes.
looks weird.
Exactly, but you get the distinct impression that she is instinctively reaching into something that is giving her power or information. And she says, a large dwarf, a small man, malnourished, just like me. And
I'm like pointing at everyone else, just trying to work out, including myself actually, just trying to work out who she's talking to.
And then
about small dwarf means nothing to me.
she turns to
And in the background, you hear me going, "Run!" and they're trying to tackle a rabbit or something, and then
It was a movie. You'd just be running across the background chasing
that's
a
what
rabbit.
I'm doing. Like every now and then, the conversation gets interrupted by me shouting or doing something silly.
give us a survival check, Jax, as the
Okay.
woman, as the kobold woman says, and you, elf boy, you're a bit paunchy, aren't you? There's
That's me. That one's me. That one. Hey, whoa. How tall are kobolds? Remind me how tall kobolds are.
Oh, they're quite small. They'd be probably
Compared
just
to the rest of the party.
just a little shorter
Oh.
by like a couple of inches than the dwarf.
So taller than the halfling?
Yes.
Yes.
Hey, average size individual. No need to get rude with me here.
Well,
I actually need to Google fantasy race heights.
what is it? What I mean, yes, you
Yeah.
you were rescued and you were trapped, but now that you're untrapped, what is it that you seek? What is your purpose?
We did say that we'd help.
Get back here!
But no,
Ah.
we were trying to find some people to help our dwarven miner friend in his newly established mine.
I think guide was the technical term rather than friend, but you know, I consider him friendly.
That's interesting. I thought that you might be associated with the red-looking figures, red-robed figures that were passing this way a couple of days ago.
The red wizards.
The fire.
Oh, yes.
students.
Am I one of those? Ooh.
She
Ooh,
looks to you.
that makes me incredibly evil if I am.
Yeah, I mean, she looks at you and says, they were a little like you, scrawny man, but not quite the same.
Yes, we're from a different stock, as you might say. I came here looking for an artifact and a colleague, but then I was trapped underground for the better part of a year. So the artifact might be gone or not exist at all, and my colleague might be dead.
Well,
I like
I'm
your
looking.
positive attitude.
Ah,
What was
gotcha.
that?
I said I like your positive attitude, Fleeve.
Okay, so you start cooking. In
This
the
is
background,
Chult.
Joe?
So it's probably very legitimate.
I don't know much about Chult.
Okay, so she says, that meal smells good. I think perhaps, given your interest in these red-robed individuals, you might be interested in what I have to say, but first we feast. And I'll say that the time required to catch the food, cook the food, to have that conversation all blends together. You can
Seamlessly.
give a sense of what you do during the meal, but by the end of the meal, we can rejoin the action if you like.
Sure.
Cool.
Eat a lot.
And she says, that
With my
was...
mouth full.
I haven't eaten a meal like that in... Well, I've lost track of the days, to be honest. Very
Minutes,
delicious.
at least.
And she says, well, there was a group of them, and I think they just remind me of the skinny one. By the way, my name is Esmeralda. What is your names?
Professor. Oh, I don't know who you're talking to. Professor Fleeb.
Scramble.
Okay. Scramble, yes.
Scramble food snatcher.
Oh, I see. Yes, I noticed that. Yes, and you, large man?
What's that supposed
My
to mean?
name's Caesar, wrestler extraordinaire, and I pat my
Girth?
step ladder.
Oh, the step ladder. And you, chef
In
man?
this brief moment, as everyone's been introduced, I've like quickly shuffled behind a rock so that I can bring out my instrument and do like a couple of strums, da-dun, and step out from behind with like a sparkle and introduce myself. Jack's hot.
Oh, you're like peeked out there.
Metal.
Oh, wow. I see. So you must be a showman of some description?
Yeah, you could say that. I am the greatest musician that ever will be eventually. You know.
I see. That's quite a long-term goal you've got there. Well, to be honest with you, I saw you and you reminded me a little bit of these red-robed figures that I hadn't seen around here before, and they headed east down the Valley of Lost Honor. I think that's what the natives call it. I don't know, to be honest. But yes, you might find something there worth pursuing. They seem to be pursuing it, but more importantly, and you see her eyes cloud over there for a little bit, more importantly, you don't seem to... I mean, and then she changes her mind and says, no, not yet, but you should seek something more than the red figures. They are not an end in themselves. You must discover something greater. And she seems to be speaking in some sort of tarot card riddle.
Can I I'm just looking at her and I'm like, lady, what are you talking about? Can I try and figure out what she's saying?
Yeah, make I'd say insight check.
Okay. Ooh.
Oh wow. With a natural 20, you are distinctly reminded of the sort of soothsayers and fortune tellers that used to occasionally frequent the tavern in which you grew up and plied your trade. It has a very, I mean, she's translating it from Kobold, so it doesn't sound quite the same, but she has a distinct vibe of like making a prediction almost, or giving someone a nudge along their path towards their fate.
Food.
Okay.
Just talk about food.
And she's so she's friendly.
Yeah, she doesn't
She's
seem to
trying to
have.
do good, yeah.
You don't get like a negative intent. You get the sense that she's more an instrument of fate than explicitly good or evil.
All right, so I just say to everyone else, like, all right, guys, I'm all right with this lady. You know, you can't sit down and eat a meal with someone without getting to know them a bit.
She didn't try to take anything from my bowl. She's all right from me.
And she said,
"Okay, lady."
She
What
says,
is it?
Just before we part ways and I digest that rather decent meal, what did you see in the the dragon's chamber, I mean, Tinder,
Gold.
Cinder, whatever they call her, I could only see through the cracks about the explosion of fire that scorched your flesh. Was there any other kobolds there in that bottom level?
Bottom level.
We didn't see any, but
gold. Lots
but
of
we
gold.
were mistaken for them.
The good stuff's at
Okay.
the bottom. I shouldn't have told you that. Shit.
I'll just I'll tell her about. I'm just gonna interrupt Scramble if he tries to start describing anything. So I'll just be like, hold on, dude, I got this, and just throw him a piece of food or something.
Take it away.
This guy's gonna try and tell you there are mosquito bones, but there were dwarf bones. Down there. And I just described the area and the pile of treasure and the little kobold masks that we borrowed to not die from the dragon.
I think.
And don't forget about the mosquito bones.
I think I've still got one of those. But don't.
One of the what?
I've
the
still got one of the masks because I took one of the masks.
Oh, you did put it on, didn't you? You never took it off.
So I think I still have. Was it a mask and a cloak?
Yes, I would say you still have it. It's like a wooden mask painted with a sort of angry-looking expression and a.
Can I retcon slightly? Because I would have tried to at some point over the last day. Gone. Is this magical of any kind? Is it just a wooden mask?
Sure. During the time you discovered that it doesn't appear to have any properties beyond decoration and religious significance.
Cool. Fine. That's all I need to know.
Okay, so she says, and she sort of thinks to herself, all right, so you were there in the morning, and there didn't seem to be anyone around. Okay.
Oh,
she seems to be... Go on.
So I just like, oh yeah, we did walk away with those things, and we have a bag of holding now, so no reason not to have cool costumes.
And she says, perhaps that time is a good time. Go on.
Can I gauge how versed in magic this person is?
Yeah, make an Arcana check.
None of those are the things I'm looking for. It's that one.
Oh, nice. With a 19, you're pretty confident she's not consciously casting spells. It's more of a... She's just thinking it, and it happens, and she's always probably had that ability and not really thought much beyond that.
So sorcery or something beyond that?
It has a distinct sorcery vibe. You're not sure if it's divine at all, but it definitely feels more sorcery than...
The only thing the effective what I was going to end up trying to do was try to teach this person Teeny Hut.
Oh, I see.
But that is a 3rd level spell, and that would imply that they learnt magic through education, not through sorcery. If they learnt it through sorcery, then writing is going to mean nothing.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, you conclude probably quite accurately. Okay, and then she says, well, I have a plan that I'm formulating. Perhaps I can convince my wayward people to accept me if I present them with the right situation. But enough of that. Let me leave you with this. You, performance man.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, you have at one point sought the advice of a seer. I am not that seer, but you may find someone like that further into this jungle. You, hungry man, the lazy one that's sort of elf-shaped.
I turn to Fleeb.
and she says, yes, you have managed to avoid the stresses and strains of real life, but if you do not engage with it, you will rapidly slip from significance. You,
That's not fair.
large dwarven man, you have strength and your heart is good, but you need focus. You can't simply ignore those studies that you neglected as a child. Something must shape you and hone you to a fine edge. And
We're going to approach a maths problem.
And you, aging wizard, your path is less clear. I don't think even you can remember it, but if you think hard, I think it will come back to you.
Oh, something else I've forgotten.
Sorry, just out of character for a moment, what was the maths problem? Did I miss like a cool...
That was no...
Something you learned as a child.
Yeah, no, that was it. It was just this idea that something that you didn't study hard enough for. that was all.
To bite me in the ass.
Oh, gotcha. And she says, farewell. They went eastward. Good luck on your quest.
Oh,
And
quest.
she-
I haven't had one of those in years.
Yeah, she departs.
I wasn't
Okay,
even.
so
I,
we
Pack her, hold on 1 second, lady. I
Yeah.
pack her up a Tupperware of leftovers.
A Tupperware fashioned from palm leaves, I imagine. And she says, thank you. This will serve me well.
Can I make up a city name? Like a genuine, like one that actually exists, but I just have no idea what cities would be called, so I'm just going to make one up.
You can? What's the context?
Where I grew up.
Okay, go for it.
Because I was gonna be like, she's not such a fan of her anymore. I didn't grow up on the streets of Bradam just to be told that I've never taken life seriously. So, I'm a bit put off by that because obviously I grew up with an urchin background. I grew up on the streets, and so the lackadaisical attitude I take is very more of a coping mechanism. Maybe.
Yeah, but I think she was saying it wasn't that you've never. So you've intentionally avoided the stresses of life, right?
Yeah, which made me annoyed.
Yeah.
Because I was
Yeah,
like, I grew up on the
'cause you're-
streets. Fuck you. But I wait till she's gone to say that.
Yeah, she's
I
out
didn't grow
of
up on the
earshot.
streets of Bradam just to be told I'd not taken life seriously.
And the valley is yours to behold. It is very much less lush than the jungle that surrounds it. It seems mostly loosely packed earth, and for some reason there is no there's no natural growth that grows on this area, and you're not sure why.
Someone lost their honor here.
So, Philippe, what sort of artifact were you searching for before you got captured?
honestly, I legitimately can't remember. It might come to me at some point when we accidentally walk into it. Perhaps, who knows?
Oh, did a kobold lady have a prophecy for Guy Fiery?
This is the point at which you notice that Guy Fiery has stayed behind with Akal as he's taken a shine to the place where he spent the last however many months and years.
No, our mascot.
we can do a we can do a realization if you like of let's say you realize it here as the stresses of what's the word, boarding up that tunnel against the dragon were very distracting.
I go to like throw some food to him, and I'm like, Guy.
I catch it. You go to toss it, realize there's nothing there, and I catch it.
you do like a full body slide along the floor, dive.
Yeah,
into the empty
absolutely. Right, maximum effort to catching food that's otherwise going to be wasted.
Excellent. So as you're wiping away the tears of the loss of Guy Fiery, what would you like to do?
The sea was chatting a lot of nonsense, so ignore her. I say eating whatever food you
You know what? No, I mean, I know I've fallen for some tricks and, wild stories before, but this time's different. I can feel it. That was a hot tip. I think we should follow the people, she said, who went that way.
What, redcoats? What were they?
Red Rovers.
I should probably know. I Fleet would probably know their full name. They're more than just they're nicknamed to Red Wizards, but Fleet would say the Red Wizards of blah blah.
The Red Wizards
the Red Wizards of blah blah.
Who are they?
We can leave it as that if you like, or I can give you the title.
I think Fleet would know the title.
I think it's the Red Wizards of Thay.
There we go. The Red Wizards of Thay are known for the necromancies, like to put it a blunt. I think that's correct. I am now interjecting where I think I know stuff when I might not.
No, that's fine. Let's see how that pans out.
They are. That's fair. Philippe could just be fucking ignorant.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
that works.
This
That
is
works.
the recollection of a man that can't remember why he's here. So it makes
Yeah,
sense.
that's a very
dungeon
fair
for a
point. That is
year.
a very fair point.
And
The Red Wizards of Fleet are necromancers, and as of course, Chult is absolutely overrun with the undead. So they've naturally been attracted here looking for strange artifacts which channel the undead. Now why they are here could be any number of reasons, but I would suspect it might be because they are looking for something.
So wait, these was the kobold lady suggesting we should go looking for these people? So that's what
She was saying that the people reminded her of Professor Fleeb in that they had like an arcane wizardy vibe about them. And she seemed to be saying that if they're looking for something, then perhaps it's something worth looking for.
Okay, so we're gonna try and beat him to the punch.
So what you're saying is it's valuable, and we could sell it for a lot of food. I'm on board.
It
Okay,
might be
guys.
edible.
Guys,
This might be the thing I'm looking for. So, well, what the hell? At some point, I assume I was given some money to get a boat here and do it, and if I go back without it, then who knows what will happen to me.
I look at everyone one at a time. I'm like, are you guys up for a race to the treasure? And I put my hand in the middle of the circle.
I start walking down the valley.
Flea doesn't really know how to respond, but he does nonetheless put a hand in the center.
I look at Caesar.
It's like, heck yeah! Grabs
I know.
both
So
of
we've
your
all got
hands.
hands. We've all got our hands in the middle, and I just shout to Scramble, "Scramble, you doing this?"
And I'll be like, yeah, sure, whatever. As I don't turn back to face them, keep
Whoopsie.
walking, and just wave a hand, backwards.
Okay,
sort of
so we
thing.
all have a cool bonding moment, and Scramble gets left out.
I still cheer in. When you go way, I also go way. But I've just started walking, and I don't want to have to walk backwards.
Okay.
You feel the warmth of a burgeoning friendship envelop you, and the concern of a wayward friend worry you simultaneously.
I'm gonna say to these guys, hold on, I'm gonna see if I can. Now, what you don't know is how we got here. Watch this. And can I somehow call for wood to bring the eagles in? Is that something we're still doing?
Well, no, because I think Wood during
Or
one
was
of our
it-
previous
Oh.
episodes, he what's the word? He got fed up and left.
Yeah. Are the eagles we were with?
Oh,
still doing
shocking!
stuff,
I
or
wonder
are they
how
just
that
gone?
happened.
Or are they just gone?
Sorry, the Eagles went with him. Yes, so
Okay,
you
okay,
no
never
longer
mind.
have access. But it would be
Never
funny.
mind.
If we had
though.
access to
try.
eagles, I wouldn't have
It would
wandered
be
off.
funny though if Jex just doesn't put that together and tries to call them.
Yeah, I
he
do.
would
I
a
do.
retriever.
A song like "Eagles descend, fly from the heavens, carry us to our goals on the wings of an eagle."
Is
What
he
you
meaning-
notice?
Is
at
he
this-
referring to great celestial
Let's
eagles?
just see how good the song is for one thing.
Oh
Oh my
wow,
god!
natural
Look
20.
at that song.
What you
Holy
notice
shit.
is as you look to the sky and you
It's a good-ass
pause
song.
for about 20 or 30 seconds, you
Even
notice
Scrabble turns around and claps along with that song.
that two gorillans, which are kind of like even more muscular gorillas, hang in the tree just beside the valley and seem to be looking and pointing at you. And they seem like they recognize you somehow, and it looks like they are scheming in some manner.
Plebe
Are they-
screams. Ah!
That an
as
eagle?
like a sparrow or something flutters down at the because of my song.
Well, you get the sense that perhaps the song had attracted these gorillas' attention.
Oh, so they love the song. Okay, I'm gonna keep performing for these gorillas. I'm gonna
Oh,
put on a
God.
show for them.
Can I do knowledge? Name
Yeah.
a big gorilla.
Yeah, while you guys are investigating, I've seen there's a crowd now, and I've just started jamming and pointing at them and dancing.
Fair enough. Okay, so Professor, you want to know the name of a big gorilla?
Well, as in, what do I know about them?
Oh,
Effectively.
gorillans. Okay, make a nature check. Oh, wow. Okay, is everyone still there?
Yeah.
Oh, nat
Okay.
20s.
Yep.
With a natural 20, you remember that gorillans are usually just like any other beast. They have no particular leaning to evil or good. They look for food. They're purely instinctive. But these ones seem to have a different, they seem much more focused than the average wild animal, and that unnerves you a little bit.
Do they look undead from this range, or do they look?
No, they don't look undead.
Okay.
Are they coming any closer as I keep performing for them?
No, they seem to. The performance seems to have distracted them a little bit from their pointing and sort of grunting at each other, and they seem to be almost paused or entranced in some manner.
Are they within 120 feet?
Yes, they are.
Can I, as part of my song, cast Dispel Magic on one of them?
Okay, sure. That's. I mean, you could give me the
Yeah.
description of it, but I'm pretty sure. I know.
I'll put it in the chat. Yeah.
Cool. And okay, okay. You cast this effect, and the visuals of it.
The moment of the song is like, "Be free like the eagle."
And you notice that they sort of like wince a little bit at the force of the magic enveloping them, but they don't seem to change or seem to alter their behavior. You get this. Make an insight check.
Okay. This button.
Okay. With an 8, you get the feeling that logically, whatever is causing them to behave in a more focused manner is not arcane in nature, but perhaps more of a just the animal remembering an experience that they've had and following up on that in some way.
Okay. But I've not interacted with these before.
You personally have not.
Okay. I guess, should we just... I mean, okay, guys, you may not have noticed it because the song was so great, but those gorillas over there, I just tried to check to see if they were, like, under some kind of spell. And they're not, so, how about we go check those guys out?
I mean, sure. Aren't they just gorillas?
Yeah, I think I'm just like, well, they're just big gorillas.
Yeah. I just waved one.
I love the idea that like Jax sees an occurrence and tries to like phrase it in the most like grandiose manner possible, and the rest of the party is just not taken in by it at all. But no, that I mean, it's not that really that exciting.
Sorry, like, I just want to. So wait a minute, you got here by flying eagle.
Yes, that is correct. They did. Oh, sorry, you're
So
asking that in character.
I'm casting that. Yeah, I'm asking that in character. But the response is going to be eventually the same. So have you ever gone through Chult?
Well, so I'm just going to catch them up on my backstory here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
I mean, so I came here looking for a magic bird that someone told me about, and I started. I prepared myself for an expedition on my own, and I was wandering through the jungle a bit. Nothing crazy happened. I ran away from, some dinosaurs, fell down a waterfall, and then these tribe guys captured me, and they probably wanted to eat me, but I kept singing for them, and so they didn't. And then, well, you didn't meet the last guys, but they came in and helped me escape. They killed some of them.
I see. Have any of you spent that much time within the jungles of Chult?
Out of character, I know nothing about Joel, and it's kind of
Yeah,
hard.
same.
Yeah,
Out of character, I have
that's
no
fair.
idea what Chelt's about.
Okay, let me fill it in. So basically, Jex has gone into the jungles of Chult naively thinking that everything would be sweet on his adventure to go see his seer. And instead of finding the seer that he was looking for, he was captured by the tribe, as he described. So he hasn't had much experience other than being captured. Scramble, I'll say, is kind of went out into the jungle on a similar sort of like, oh, I wonder what cool stuff is out there. I mean, he can fill in the specifics, but then he was luckily sort of taken in by this generous tribe of Aarakocra monks, which fed him and fed him and fed him, and he just sort of like played upon their charity for a very long period of time. So when an adventuring party came past, they jumped at the chance to get rid of him and really basically pushed him out of the door in a polite way. So again, he's not an expert in navigating the jungle. He was more of an expert at finding free food and staying there.
That sounds about right.
And then...
So I'm trying to think of a reason why Caesar would be on this island. Because is it just an island that... Oh, it's not even an island, it's an archipelago.
So
Trying to
basically,
learn some of the old dwarven wrestling techniques.
you would have spent the majority of your time in these mountains, Caesar. So again, you wouldn't need to go out to the jungle terribly often, probably to forage or to hunt occasionally, but that's only in like the 20-mile radius of the mountain range that you lived.
Okay, that makes sense.
And
So, Flea,
Professor Flea
no,
can't
I
remember.
haven't.
So is it fair enough to say that like Flea knows enough about Chult to say that, oh god, walking through the jungle is freaking terrifying?
Yeah, he's got a lot of like book knowledge that would cover that sort of information.
Yeah. Oh golly. Right.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you about the zombie T-Rex we saw from the sky.
You saw that thing.
Okay, I'll say it probably makes more sense for the one that you have a flashback about to be a big T-Rex, but it's not undead. And you just hearing the description and the fact that it sounds similar, but obviously yours isn't undead, you do have like a Vietnam-style flashback and etc.
Okay, cool. So something. There we go. Something that's vaguely flashed out my backstory is something to do with T-Rexes and an attack of some form. Got it. Cool.
I'm like,
Okay.
dude, don't worry, dude. We saw it coming and we flew away from it. But apparently, the guys we were with last time tried to fight it and eventually gave up. But
Well, I as horrible as it sounds,
I mean, it can't have been as bad as that dragon, and we got out of there.
I don't want to argue because I don't necessarily agree. Because the thing about the red dragon is that you could reason with the red dragon. You can't reason with the undead T-Rex.
Are you saying this to us, or is this just your thoughts?
No, that is just in my head.
Okay. I just know that, like, I think the people tried to fight it for a while and didn't get killed. So,
I think we should. Well, I don't like the red wizards, but they might have a boat we could nick. And then we could get back to Port Nyanzaru at least.
well, let's go down the valley.
Alrighty then, that's somewhere
Scramble,
else.
I've not been talking to Scrambles like well off by this point.
Whistling, like
Okay.
throwing sticks at us.
So Scramble, give us a
Well,
survival
lucky.
check, and then whoever wants to give us a survival check from the other group.
Are you like 100 feet ahead of us, or actually like a mile away?
I'm
I'll
probably
say-
a little ways ahead of you. I'm probably not a mile away, but they've been having this conversation, so I must be a couple hundred feet away.
Yeah, I'd say like 500 feet or so. He's like a
Yeah,
small
something
speck at this point.
Okay. I mean, can
That's
we go?
not a good survival.
Can we go rushing after him
Yeah,
so that
yeah.
we don't lose him in the
And
jungle?
as a
For my
side thing,
sweet survival.
excuse me, chum. I'm talking to Caesar here because he's the person I've noticed known the most longest. Why is this? What is this valley called for you?
For you people.
Like it's like I've read it as being down as the Valley of Lost Honor, but like that was probably just written down by some cartographer that just wanted a fancy sounding name.
You can make a history check, Caesar, to see what you remember about why the valley is called that.
Yeah.
And Scramble, you find yourself, just before I resolve Caesar's check, Scramble, you find yourself sort of wandering off from the valley's sort of straight shot. I presume you were going east?
Yeah, the direction we were told to go.
Yeah, you find yourself following a sort of ravine to the left, which is kind of north, and you find yourself in this, like, thick forest of almost stalagmites made out of a black basalt material, and they look incredibly sharp. And you don't know how you got down here. You mustn't have been paying attention, and it seems to be quite tricky to, like, navigate your way out of this, like, barbed wire type stuff.
So is that this bit?
Yes, the one... Yeah, exactly there.
Okay, but
Cool. So with a 17, you will... Although the Valley of Lost Honor was called that, you know, since you can remember, and it's not been called that by Dwarven culture, you get the sense that stories are told about some great battle that took place there, but it was a problem for the surface dwellers that the dwarves didn't much bother themselves with.
so we had that conversation.
Yes, you
There
can
we go.
you can recount that, or you can just say
Yeah.
you said that to Professor Fleet.
I said that.
Nice.
And I started in.
No, like
I-
we didn't
Yeah.
really come out here that much. Like a couple of traders and whatnot would come from the outside, but we didn't.
I see. Fair enough.
And then,
Okay.
yeah, I'll get a little bit inspired and just be like, as I walk through the valley of the shadow of death.
Okay, Scramble, you see your party approaching slowly, sort of looking for you in a slightly hurried manner. What do? Do you try to get out of this, like, tangled, sharp rock area? Or do you...
So am I like... I've walked into the middle of a bunch of these?
Well, yeah, they started out being not terribly thick, and then before you knew it, you looked up and they were sort of, like, surrounding you.
So you said it will be difficult to retrace my steps.
Yeah, difficult in the sense that, like when Catherine Zeta-Jones avoids those like laser beams, that kind of thing.
Mate, you haven't seen Scramble avoid laser beams.
Clearly
I'll
not.
probably shout out to them and like, hey guys, watch out for these spiky things down here. They look
Like,
pretty
I
nasty.
looked down and I was just like, dude, how did you get in that cage of spikes?
I don't even know. I'm not even gonna try and lie. I don't even know. I just sort of wound up here.
I'm gonna sing you. Oh yeah, okay. You're going in with your step. Yeah, carry on. Go ahead. You got
Be careful, dude. Be careful.
Yeah, I just like take a massive swing at the first stalagmite I see and smack it.
Okay, go for it. Roll an attack. Oh wait, it's an object, so it's a critical hit.
Yeah.
So just
automatic
roll damage.
Two-handed
you
as
guys
well.
got that cool ass armor and stuff, didn't you?
Oh wow, okay. So that's two-handed, that's 9. You do 18 piercing damage against this basalt rock, and a huge crack runs down the length of it, and it sort of starts to crumble apart from the top to the bottom, and they're razor-sharp pieces, so you got to be careful of them. But you're making progress at slowly destroying the...
that's only your 9. Oh, you've got a macro that...
Rolls both, apparently.
Oh, there's different ways of using it, but you just pick whichever one you're doing?
Yes.
Oh,
I think
I
that's
see.
the
One-handed
idea,
or two-handed.
But that's not a crit, right? So you should roll an extra d8.
Well, no, I was just doubling it, but if you
Oh,
want to
sure, fair enough.
if you want to do a different like way of calculating critical hits, then we can do that way.
For this, it doesn't matter because
it's
hitting
we're
a
just
rock.
smashing through an object.
Okay, cool. So
I'm
you
just
begin.
gonna try and carve a path to Scramble.
Cool.
Oh,
So
careful with those sharp bits, dude.
your exit path has now become slightly easier to navigate, Scramble. I'll say that you continue to do this, Caesar, and so you slowly make it easier.
All right, thanks, man. I think I didn't say I needed help. I just said to watch out, right?
Okay, so
but I appreciate it nonetheless.
Roll me an acrobatics check.
Acrobatics. All right.
Oh wow.
19.
Okay. You managed to nimbly step around the freshly destroyed basalt spikes and rejoin your party in the middle of this valley.
I clap Caesar on the shoulder like, it's cool, man. I had that under control, but I still appreciate the help.
You specifically avoid going through the cleared out path.
Hey, I was just trying out my new fancy step ladder.
And it did
can't
prove to
be
be
good at
very
smashing
It's a
fancy.
nice step ladder. It's a nice step ladder. I will roll bluff.
Step ladder.
Did we want to head down this way? Was that where we were planning on going? And just Scramble went up that way.
Yeah, he rolled a 5 on his survival.
Yeah, okay.
So he
I think I just
basically
started
walked the
daydreaming.
wrong way. Yeah.
Yep. All right, dude. Try and stick with us now. Don't go caging yourself anymore.
Well, as long as you guys can keep up, I say, walking quite slowly.
Okay.
All right.
So whoever, go on.
Thank you. Yeah, let's make pace. I will give I'll do my thing of inspiring people as they navigate.
Ah,
Okay.
yes, a classic.
Whoever is doing the survival check can have inspiration. Whoever wants to, navigate the forest. Sorry, the valley.
Who is decent at survival? Because I have a 2.
So I think I'm. So I have.
Yo.
So I think I am typically probably because I technically did at some point have navigator's tools. I probably didn't have them anymore. I have a survival of 4.
Whoa.
I have 0, but I have the confidence of someone with a +5.
But to be fair, Dan's character might know the surrounding area better than me.
Dan's character probably would have a familiarity with the immediate vicinity, but a little bit later on, probably for the next check, he wouldn't know it very well.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't really gone past the cave much. That's mountains.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm happy to
Follow. I was just trying to share the roles. That's what I was just trying to do.
Well, it's just we're going to be doing a lot of these, so just having a standard of someone who's rolling is easy.
Oh, it was a 9. Oh, and you rolled a 1.
It was a 10.
Okay, so what happens is you guys make painfully slow progress as you are jumping at every shadow that seems to look like a spiky field after
Guys, slow down.
After having Scramble almost get sliced up, you make slower progress, and what you
You're going too
see,
fast.
what you see is a small outpost as you make your way slowly down this valley, sort of built into the forest on your left, and they seem to have like what's the word? The outpost seems to have a bunch of like individuals, like human, what appear to be scouts, standing atop the outpost, sort of looking around with spears and bows, and they have a very sort of defensive stance to them. They don't seem to have noticed you yet.
Can we spot out? Do they have any like insignia?
You can make a perception check.
Okay. Perception. Beep. 21.
Oh wow!
Roll.
Okay,
It's a good rolls day.
you notice on their left breast of their like cloaks is a gem, like a green gem, like an emerald has been like embroidered into it. And that seems very significant, or not significant, what's the word, like identifiable to you. And if you want to know what that means, you can roll a history check.
Sure. I love history. That's not the roll. Being a halfling is great.
Okay, so with the 20, you remember that before you set out into the jungles of Chult to try to find your seer, you heard stories in the taverns that there was a group called the Emerald Enclave, and they're a group of scouts that are trying to do their best to rid the jungle of its undead menace. And so you get the sense that they're pretty positive, upstanding kind of peeps.
Okay, cool. I will relay this to anyone who didn't already know and say like, yeah, these guys just want to kill zombies. They seem like people we could go talk to.
So they're not going to kill us.
That sounds about right.
Do you think they'll
As
have
long as,
food?
as long as we don't approach them going.
Ah, a zombie!
So what do you do?
We make ourselves visible and don't have our weapons drawn and approach waving.
Okay, they say...
How's that sound? Is everyone okay with that?
Sure. I
Yeah.
think it's the right move, dude.
They say, "Ho, who are you? What do you want?"
I'm Jack's Hot Bottom, and these are my friends. And
Scramble, how's it going?
we're just traveling. We got stuck out in the jungle and helped a few friends out. And we're just passing through, but I know about the Emerald Enclave. You guys are great.
Oh, okay. Make a charisma check.
Okay. Just base charisma.
Yeah, just a base one.
Oh, that's a save. That's a...
Is it different?
I get a +6 on my save, and if it's a base check, I only get a +3.
Let's check it out then.
So just press it.
Yeah.
Okay. How do I roll my actual stat? Oh, there it is.
Poor roll 20. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay, with a 13, they say, thank you, and they seem to relax their weapon stance a little bit. Yes, we were concerned that you were more of those red people that came past. Nasty group, them. You don't seem undead either, so if there's any help that we can render you, please let us know. Do you need
Got any
spare
food?
provisions? Yes, we do,
Oh,
actually.
yeah.
And they,
Resupplying would be great.
one of them sort of shimmies down the outpost with a satchel under his arm and proceeds to offer some sort of dried rations, some hard mountain bread, some water skins, that sort of thing.
Ah,
Sweet.
That's really nice. Thanks.
Oh,
We
you guys
thanked them
are all
profusely.
right.
Yes.
I'd like to give them a few tips about what we've seen in the area as well.
Okay, they
Just
say...
an update. Like, there was a dragon, there's a this and that.
Oh, they say, oh, yes, that T-Rex, we've been trying to bring that down for a long time. And you say more zombies came out of... Oh, goodness me. And I'll say you can retell that story from having heard it from Scrubagog, etc. And they say, yes, we've been working for many years trying to rid this jungle of undead, and it's slow progress. The rest of you are in good health. you seem like a dwarf, my good fellow. I haven't seen one of you out here in a long time.
Yeah, I've just come out for a bit of adventure. These guys. But what you mentioned earlier about the red-robed people? They were causing you trouble.
Yes, we spotted them as they walked past here a couple of days ago, and we asked them, what their business was, standard sort of check-in procedure, and they have a sort of military vibe to them now that you hear them talk, and it's not too strong, but it's there that they kind of like procedure. And instead of responding to us, the bastards just started throwing spells at us, and you can see he gestures to all these scorch marks around the outpost that you didn't notice from a distance, and he said, "Damn unpleasant creatures, those ones. I'm glad that you're not one of them. Let's put it that way."
Oh, we'll give them. I've already tucked it into the rations. We'll give them what for.
Oh, good. Well, be careful. We've got another party another expedition planned. Excuse me, further north to try to deal with that T-Rex. But we hope that you can. I don't know. Put them on the straight and narrow. They're an unpleasant bunch.
Yeah, we'll fuck them up.
Ooh.
Do you know which way they went?
Yes, he gestures with a spear, basically exactly east of you.
Oh,
So-
what a coincidence!
You're basically, well, beforehand it was kind of like east southeast, but now that
No, I
you've
mean
made
I'm playing this off as, oh, what a coincidence! That's where we're going. Like in character, I'm playing now. So,
and he says, yeah, they disappeared into the jungle after they left the valley. We were barely able to see. We had to like duck behind cover. We're not equipped for that sort of group. I hope that you guys have better luck.
what sort of stuff they throw at you? Well, like fire and lightning. I don't know what else makes scorches.
Yeah, I mean,
No.
there was fire, there was purple lights and green lights. I don't know. Actually, let's do.
You say
let's
no
do-
to me, Philippe, and after he says that, I'm like, fucking got ya. Give you a look that's like, I do know what I'm talking about,
He,
even though I probably don't.
he says, yeah, I don't know what spells they were. They just were different colors. I couldn't tell you which ones were fire and which ones weren't.
I look away from Philippe. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Well, cheers for the info anyway.
So, Philippe, what do we do about these necromancers? What sort of are we prepared?
Well, we're just
If I'm
trying to see what
perfectly
they're-
honest, I don't think we
Yes.
are. But
We're just trying to find out what they're looking for and maybe beat them to it.
yes, I think stealth
How are we
is
gonna-
going to be our main.
How are we going to find out what they're looking for if they're also looking for it? Just have to follow them and get it from under their
I
noses.
tap my nose. Yeah.
Well, Hakuna Matata, I suppose.
All I can see is like the mines and like my little jail cell that I got accustomed to, and going, seems a lot more safe.
You may not. We have ways of asking questions or finding things out.
Yeah, never had a friend like us. Friends like us.
And they say, you see the one that was offering you provision sort of shimmies back up the outpost and says, "Okay, well, we're waiting for another shift to join us before we start our expedition. If you need anything else, just give us a shout."
Sure then, good luck, chaps.
Cool. And do you guys continue on your journey? It's about sort of 11:30 midday by now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Daylight travel.
Cool. All right. Whoever wants to lead the survival check can do so.
Got that flea bleed.
Yeah, Philippe's the only one who's like done an actual serious amount of research into the area before going out there.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's like a
I don't know the
29.
meaning of the word research.
Because
Yeah.
you inspired him, right, Jax?
Yeah, absolutely. Inspiration on navigation is good.
With a 29, you approach. You enter the jungle itself, and after a couple of hours, the jungle parts to reveal a dead-looking city enclosed by sheer cliffs. Ruined buildings and stone boulevards rise from the floor of this misty basin. Colorful birds glide overhead, and a waterfall pours into the basin, creating this swollen river that floods much of the city before draining into a deep rift filled with molten lava. A ruined palace lies a few hundred feet from the edge of the steaming abyss. It's quite impressive, and just before that wonderful in-character reaction, I'm going to try to show it to you, but that may or may not work, so let's give it a try.
I do love dinner and a show.
Show to everyone. There you go. Does that look cool?
Mm.
Oh, let me get that. Zoom
May
in on that.
I do a history
Very
roll?
cool.
Yes, you can. Oh, wow. Okay. With an 18, you would be confident that this is the city of Omu, O-M-U, but it's more commonly known as the Forbidden City, as the people that used to live here were abandoned by their god Ubtoa, U-B-T-O-A, and they proceeded to do a bunch of misguided things, the details of which you can't quite remember, and so the city has fallen into corruption and decay and now seemingly abandonment.
I convey as such.
Would you say it's the sort of place that would have a lot of riches?
I've heard that.
Well,
were the monks?
it is known about, so it's probably been raided a certain degree, but that doesn't mean everything's been completely taken.
And that's
were-
the positivity I like from you, Fleeb.
Were the monks disciples of Ubtoa? that we met
Which,
before.
oh, the Aarakocra?
Yeah, I just remember hearing the name.
I believe they might have been. I don't think you actually discovered, like, concretely one way or the other. It was like a god.
There might have been a shrine to Ubtoa or something, but
There was a shrine, but I think it had been so, like, touched that it had been smoothed down and you couldn't
Okay.
tell, like, who it was.
okay. And where are we coming in on this map? At the
You're coming the bottom left, I believe. Yeah, the bottom left.
where there's
there's
those
a-
little stairs outwards. Yeah.
There's a little staircase, yeah.
Okay. And I'm seeing this waterfall into lava, and I'm like, dudes, I thought I had seen enough lava for a while, but look at this! Holy shit!
It's pretty cool. Finally, something we can agree on.
Hey, I think we've not been arguing since since I was feeding you again.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. I take it back. So, this abandoned city sort of thing looks like the sort of place that one might find a, how would you say, artifact?
No, that was a flop.
Yes, definitely.
Artifact too.
The small sounds of helicopters and napalm in the background.
Okay, so there might be some red.
They
whatever
were
they were called.
quite an ingenious people. Like clearly, the city is well developed. I think we do need to be cautious,
Yes, caution
especially
is my.
especially considering how pixelated the environment is. There we go. There's a curse on this land.
That's because you're not using your 3D glasses.
Like
Okay.
a cloaking device.
Awesome. So yeah, this is what the actual city looks
Oh,
like in
oh,
more
oh,
detail.
Are we approaching from the top of the page or the bottom?
No,
Where are we coming from?
The very southwest corner, those little stairs.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So do you continue?
Yeah, we're gonna
Reckon
walk
so.
in this town. We're gonna.
Yeah, do we want to keep it a bit hush hush though, just because there might be some of those red boys around?
Yes, you should. You should take the front. Yeah, you go ahead, dude. I'm feeling a little clunky.
Okay. Give me a stealth
Sure
check,
thing, man.
please. Scrabble.
I'm more than happy to go ahead.
Assuming no one else joins him. If so, please roll a stealth check.
I think having him go like
I can like
about-
scout ahead a bit, like 50 feet,
Yeah.
100 feet, and then
yeah,
come back
just
and report.
keeping in vision, and like he
Yeah.
goes ahead, looks around a bit, and then tells us to go up to where he was.
Cool. Okay, so
Yeah, that's the sort of thing we can.
presumably Fleeb is overcome with sort of flashbacks and trauma starting to like roll in to his consciousness, and Caesar is sort of just taking in the sights beyond his foraging area. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I mean, amazing.
Okay, cool. So, Scramble, what you see is a guardhouse, or what appears to be one, standing near the entrance to the city. There seem to be arrow slits cut into its limestone walls, and a lopsided portcullis hangs over the gateway, beyond which you see an open plaza. What do you do?
Okay, and I can't see any signs of life at the moment.
No, you don't see any yet.
Okay.
Whereabouts is this on the map? Just for.
I will show you. It is this thing here.
Okay.
Okay. I'll move up to like the entrance of the open plaza and make sure I can't see any signs of life in said
Okay.
plaza, and then fetch them up to that point.
Okay. Make
Sort of.
a perception check.
Perception. 20. Dirty 20.
Okay. So the plaza seems a way off, but as you go past it would take you a little while to walk there. But as you go past the gatehouse, you notice that it seems to be partially collapsed, and there's a lot of creepers sort of climbing along the walls, and there seems to be a bunch of graffiti written in common on the outside of it.
Okay. Anything interesting?
Yeah, you see things like. Do you call the rest of the group over at this point, or are you still scouting?
I want to make sure this is. What's this? This building is like the guardhouse here.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Sure. I want to make sure as long as there's nothing in the guardhouse, I'll call them up to the guardhouse. But I
Cool.
want to make sure the guardhouse is clear first.
Yeah, it looks empty to you.
Cool. I'll shout them up then, or beckon them up. Not shout, probably.
Cool. As you examined quickly the interior of the gatehouse, you notice that there are grasses growing between the flagstones. There's evidence of campfires, but from a long time ago, and one wall is covered in graffiti, like I said. And as you guys join Scramble, you each get snippets of the graffiti, which read, "Fear the fangs of Rasnisi." And then a new piece of graffiti says, "Eric, I've gone in search of the 9 shrines. V." Then another piece says, "The puzzle cubes are the key." Then a different one, "Beware the frog monster. Who is Unk? All hail the king of feathers. The snakes are not what they seem." And then it starts to get like, the handwriting gets even worse. Then it seems like a descent into madness almost. Then you see another section that says, "Hubazan equals bravery. Shagambi equals wisdom. Moa equals ? And that's what you read.
Okay. Do any of us know Chaltian?
I didn't know that was a language.
It would be on your language if you spoke it.
I speak thieves' cant. Does that help?
That would be a no.
I also speak Gnomish.
I just start singing like I'm reading the wall slowly and just like jam through it like "Fear the fangs of Rasnisi. Eric gone in search of the 9 shrines. V. Puzzle cubes are the key. Beware the frog monster. Who is Unk?
Alright, calm down, man. Shh. We don't know who's here.
Fear the fangs of Rasnisi. Fear the fangs.
Does anyone actually recognize any?
Hubazan is bravery.
You guys can roll history checks if you want to see if any of those words ring a bell.
Hubazan.
Might as well, I guess.
I like the sound of that. Hubazan.
Whoopsie, wrong one.
There it is.
Hubaba.
Wow.
Hubazan.
Natty 20. My turn to
Okay.
roll well.
So I'll say that Professor and Scramble. Scramble first. You remember hearing about. What would you have known? The snakes are not what they seem kind of rings a bell for you about sort of scary stories that they used to tell in the gnome the streets. You were raised by gnomes, right?
I was raised by the streets in a gnomish city.
There you go. There you go.
That's how I'd phrase it.
The stories that they told in that gnomish city on the streets described these people that are kind of half snake, half people, and they look scary, and they're kind of not. They're just kind of they're used as like the boogeyman in these stories on the streets, and that sort of rings a bell for you. What else, Professor? When you hear "All hail the king of feathers," you get a little chill run up your spine, like it's a concept or a thing that has resonance for you. And this whole place seems oddly familiar, like you've studied it, or you've been here, or someone's described it to you. That's what you recall.
Do I know what is meant by a humanoid snake? Does Fleeb know what the humanoid snakes are?
I'll say with a 21 and your kind of studies, it sounds a lot like the description of a Yonti.
Mm-hmm.
Hubazan.
Yonti.
Yuanti.
Snake-like creatures, quite tall, typically
I hear you say Yuanti.
known for using, I think scimitars, and are quite ambush heavy.
I hear
you
you
say
Proceed with caution.
You
Yes.
say this out loud?
Yes.
Yeah, I hear you say Yuanti, like quietly, and I'm just like, all right, coming right up, and I start cooking up some tea.
It's not like the fire newts description, is it? It's not quite right. is
Well,
it?
they use the fire newts use scimitars.
Yeah, but then they're also sort of snake-like. I don't know if that's quite what they were going for, but they are scaly, right? So
Were they scaly?
No, the fire newts had a more lizard appearance, and they're more like
just scaly.
newty, right?
Made of fire.
Squidgy. Yes.
Okay, all right. I'll take it back.
Yeah, you, dude. We spent so much time with Guy Fiery.
I mean, like, presumably I would know that in character. I was just thrown it out there as something that hadn't been said to us yet, and I wasn't sure.
So this is writing on one of the walls of this kind of like guard post or whatever, like the first building in that we've come to.
Precisely, yes.
And the things that are of note that was on this wall was that there are 9 temples. There is a puzzle cube. There is some translations, which I'm assuming is Old Chaltian, but might not be. And madness in general.
So while these
you'll fit
two
right
actually, so I'm gonna be with like Caesar. I'm just like, Caesar, try this, Caesar, and I go Hubazan, 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 Hubazan. Take it away.
What are you trying to do? Wait,
Just do a bit of music. Just do a little song. Like, gonna do a melody while you give me a bass line.
Hubazan. I'm rapping on
Oh,
my belly. Hubazan.
Oh yeah.
Hubazan.
You gotta have Hubazan and Shambi. Watch out for the Moa and the Yanti. Hubazan. And we just riff for a little while, the two of us, while we actually know what's going.
Does the guard room or whatever this is contain anything but this courtyard, or is there actual kind of building esqueness within this courtyard?
No, sorry, I should have been clearer in my description. The courtyard is sort of further on, and it seems to be part of like a walled compound that is partially collapsed. So it's like a few hundred feet ahead.
Okay. Should we head towards the yonder buildings?
Just a quick question about the graffiti. Does it all seem pretty old, or is there any more recent additions?
They seem like they're... Actually, that'll be fun. Make a investigation check, please.
I would give you bardic inspiration, but I'm definitely not gonna, because I'm currently distracting you with my bardic skills.
Okay. With an unnatural 1, what you realize is, just like the scribblings of like a public toilet cubicle, they appear to be mostly different handwriting. Like, it's not necessarily all one person. A couple of them look like they might be the same, but mostly different. And presumably that would imply different ages as well, but you're really not sure with the 1.
It's like you start trying to look closer, and I'm just like, dude, you're dropping the beat.
I think at that point I just like grab like a stick or something or a rock and try and carve my name into it. Caesar was here.
Nice.
Whoa! Don't let people know that we're here. Have you never been on our stealth mission? Have you ever tried to take food from the bakery before?
It wasn't.
Okay, it successfully is inscribed upon the wall.
Great.
Alright, I'm not adding my name to it though. It's foolish.
Just in case like lawyers come round later looking for everyone who's liable.
Hey, never leave tracks. You always need an alibi.
Cool. So what would you guys like to do now?
Shall I scout ahead again?
Yep, another step.
It's not the stealth, presumably, to sneak up.
Yes.
Oh, it did not very well there,
Okay.
despite the +10.
Stomping on a couple of loose bits of rubble, you look around
shit.
quickly, but no one seems to be watching you that you can perceive, but you nervously and somewhat incompetently make your way to this sort of walled compound.
Do you want me to check out a perception as well, or
Yeah, let's do that just for fun.
just in case? That's better.
It's a pretty good perception check. What you notice is smoke drifts lazily from the walled compound ahead of you. The gate lies in splinters, which allows you to see the sort of plaza beyond, and scorch marks deface the buildings. Near the center of the compound is the plaza, and now that you're closer, you can see it's littered with charred human corpses. And one of the corpses is being torn apart by a pack of wild dogs.
Oh. I'll head back to the party then, and let them know that there's wild dogs about. And I mean, if they're eating a corpse now, presumably quite fresh.
You could make a medicine check if you want to check the validity of that statement.
I mean, that's my assumption. I'll roll medicine if it will get me more information, but like my assumption is it's fresh right now.
Yeah, I mean, you can
that's
assume
pretty good.
whatever you want. With an 18, you would assume that, yeah, dogs will eat rotting flesh, but not super rotting.
Okay, yeah, but the fact that they're going after one corpse in particular, well, you know, the fact that they're here at all implies that there's reason to be here.
Yeah, that seems fair.
Okay, yeah, I'll head back to the rest of the guys and let them know what I've seen.
You come back and me and Caesar are just like, Hubazan! Hubazan!
You guys are, what the
Macadamia.
Hubazan are you doing?
Lieb, would you be exasperated by this, or would you have started joining into the tune at this point? We've just spent the last 5 minutes like riffing on the tune of the writings on the wall. Paul?
Is he perhaps on mute?
Probably,
Oh,
probably not. I
You're
don't
not-
think I don't think Fleeb has a musical bone in his body.
Hey, just because you're not musical doesn't mean a tune can't get stuck in your head.
Sure, fine. Like internally, I would occasionally say Hubazan and be out of tune entirely.
Perfect. Hubazan.
What would you guys like to do?
Hubadan.
And I mean, it's catchy, but guys, there's things going on.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Well, what's going on, dude?
I'll tell him about like the.
You found some
the
more
dogs
cool
and
words
stuff.
to sing?
Not exactly. But there is a pack of wild dogs eating a corpse.
Just normal dogs?
Oh yeah. Well, wild dogs, right? So slightly
But
more
like,
wolf-like.
they didn't make them a corpse. They didn't make a corpse.
Oh no, the corpses are all charred and burned. Like there's been some sort of fight here, presumably recently-ish.
Recently?
And I'm just like,
Well, presumably, because why would the dogs be here otherwise?
oh, damn it!
Did Fleep?
Why isn't Guy here with us? He's great with fire.
And dogs.
Did the corpses look like they were wearing red robes?
They were burnt to a crisp, so presumably their clothes had gone with them.
So it might be the evidence of a red.
You also probably weren't close enough to get a look at the clothes. You sort of looked from just outside the walls of the compound.
Yeah, I was staying quite far back. That's fair.
Well,
not that I could see them.
Well, I suppose onwards and
Well,
yeah,
be
that
careful,
thing.
though. Might have to navigate around these doggy boys.
If there's corpses, there might be people that need help.
Can I know whether these dogs are likely to just be scavengers?
So
And
you're saying that you guys have moved up to the compound to make observations?
Sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay. You want to ascertain whether the dogs are scavengers. Okay, that would be...
I just want to like see if I know if this behavior, like, if they're just scavengers and they'll run away if we, or at least not like try and fight us just because we're there.
Okay. Make either a nature or an insight check.
Okie dokie. Button. It's not great.
Okay, they don't look arcane. They look like regular wild dogs to you. So you imagine they would behave exactly as wild dogs would.
I'm guessing, like, I've never encountered wild dogs or wolves, just like jungle creatures. So when I see these, I come up with the group. And it's like, oh, puppies!
Shh, they're wild dogs, you idiots.
Can you see they're literally hitting someone?
Look how cute they are.
So do you venture further in, or are you still on the outskirts of the compound?
So it's the compound. It's this thing.
Yes, it's like the rectangles are the
Yeah.
sort of crumbled walls, and all the small buildings within are the compound itself.
And where are those dogs?
They are in the center, like beside that dome thing.
Okay. And this thing, is this raised up?
Yes, it's
Is
a
this a
raised.
big pathway?
It's a raised walkway. Yeah.
Hey guys, you see that walkway right there? Should we get a look from there? It might be a good view.
It'd also be a good place to get spotted from.
I'm in agreement with Scramble on this one.
I don't correct you.
To the dogs. You want us to go? Should we go up to those dogs then?
I think we should skirt around. I think we should try and avoid, the dogs, if they're content with the body, hopefully they're not going to pay much attention to us if we give them enough distance. So I say we just sneak around the outside,
So
give the dogs a wide berth.
They're so cute though, dude. What are
That's
they?
fine with me. Let's
Well,
go
you're
around the
going to have
outside.
to maintain your impulses to pet them right now. We'll do it later once we've got the artifact and dealt with the red boys, alright?
And then cool.
Fine. Let's go.
Okay, cool. So, what you discover as you skirt around the outside of the inside of the compound is some sort of glaive, like a big spear, has been thrust into the remains of a burned out pyre. Charred snake skulls and blackened inhuman vertebrae are lashed to the spear, and on a wall nearby is a symbol daubed in ash, a snake curled in a spiral gripping a circle in its jaws.
Knowledge Arcana? Maybe?
You need to do a religion check if you want to figure out the symbol.
Ooh.
Should we all throw one in if we're looking at it, or is it just
Go for it.
one person?
Go for it.
Alright, I was going to have a look at the fire to see how long the
Yeah.
fire was.
If you want to do that.
Because he knows fuck all about that symbol.
Okay. Jax, this is something that rings a bell to you on the, I'll say, based on your knowledge of symbolism and storytelling, you get the sense that this symbol is a symbol of Dendar, the night serpent, devouring the world. And you actually start to put the pieces together that this is the Yonti god, now that you've heard the discovery of Fleeb and Scramble, and all these pieces of information are coming together, because a lot of the stories you tell are based on fact and history, and this is starting to really fit together the pieces for you. So you get the sense that perhaps the Yonti were involved here.
And the bones, the bones were clearly not common folk bones.
Yeah, there's a weird mixture of like some of them snake skulls, some of them vertebrae that aren't human, and you also notice as you guys are walking around the inside that 3 red-robed corpses lie amongst many common mercenary-looking corpses in this compound.
Oh.
I suppose the Red Wizards took on mercenaries.
Yeah,
It isn't unlike them.
Can I investigate that fire to see how old that fire is?
Sure, make a survival check.
Survival? Dear,
Okay.
not too bad.
So with a 14, you get the sense that this happened quite recently, like within the last 2 days, perhaps.
That's, quite recently.
It's our timeline.
Yeah.
You also...
Just wanted to, because this is an abandoned city, but there's been fires and fights recently.
Can we see any more like smoke trails from anywhere else in the city, or is it the only higher?
You can all make a perception check. Oh,
Oh,
wow.
there it is.
Okay, so that's a natural 20, then we get a 19, then we get a 10.
Where's it gone?
At you.
There we go.
Okay. Scrammel hears it first, and then Fleeb tunes in on it and gestures to Caesar and Jex to pay attention, because you can hear very quietly someone saying, "Help, help, help me!" And it seems to be coming from a collapsed piece of wall at the edge of the compound. And that is where we're going to end our session.
All right.
Can you feel the
Clearly
dramatic
gonna go.
tension?
Well, we're gonna go help that trap.
Oh shit.
Dude, we gotta go help that trap.